Hi everyone, my name is Simon Mishevich from Optimize Accountants, and I'm going to be talking about paying children from your UK limited company. Now for your US based companies, I will do another video for you guys later on, but this is for UK limited companies only. And this is a great thing about paying your children to do jobs in your business. And it's a great tax advantage, isn't it? Because ultimately what you're doing is you're earning the money as maybe as an employee, taking money out of your limited company, paying taxes on your dividends, and then giving it to your children. Isn't there a better way of having your children do things in your business that allows you to pay them directly, and therefore you are not got the heavy tax burden of taking the money yourself out of the company just to pay it back to them? Much easier, right? So let's get into the details how you do that. If you're looking for any UK US tax calculators, feel free to go over to our website using the QR code that you can see now or the link in the description box below. So we're talking about paying children. Can you actually pay children? Well, in the UK, the rules for hours for children aged 13 to 16 are quite specific and depend on whether school is in session or not. That's a very US term, I've got to say, session or not. So we're talking about paying children of 13 and above. And some things that you need to think about here. Term time between 13 and 14 is 12 hours per week. So you can't employ them for 40 hours if they were actually at school. And actually that would be just crazy, right? To try and justify, oh yeah, my child works 40 hours. No, it's not going to happen, right? And the other side to it is that you have 5 hours on a Saturday. So really important to note that. And then you've got term time for 15 and 16-year-olds where they can again work 12 hours per week, 8 hours on a Saturday. So again, it's slightly different rules for your older children, but things that you need to think about. You can't justify paying them for 20 hours work when actually it's limited as shown on the screen. During the holidays, slightly different. If they're aged 13 or 14, then they can work to 25 hours. Slave labor, which is 5 hours per day, and it's 2 hours, limited to 2 hours on a Sunday, which is, I find really bizarre how they do that. What about Saturday? Why is that not limited? But anyway, so holidays season for young children, you can pay them 25 hours per week. And if they are 15, 16, then you can actually make them, that sounds more even slave labor than before. You can actually ask them to work 35 hours per week. Good luck with that. 8 hours per day, 2 hours again on a Sunday, which is, maybe they've got other things to do. So the kind of things you can help get them to do, children are often better at technology than the parents, I would say. So things like social media, updating websites, if they're clever enough to do that, why not tap into their knowledge and help you with that? Administration, bookkeeping even, those kind of things. If they're working maybe in a shop, could you get them not to sell stuff over? I think there are issues regards to that, but you can't, taking money off a customer, for instance, I'm not sure if you've got to be careful. I worked at BT's toy shop when I was 15, so I know that you can ask them to do certain things, but selling alcohol, for instance, you cannot, and working in betting shops and whatever else. Not that you're going to do that, but you know what I mean. Get some advice around what your child can and cannot do. Okay, so what do you need to have in place if you are going to pay children from your UK limited company? So the first thing is employment permit, local authority. That's true. You actually have to ask your local authority to say, I'm going to employ my child to work for us, and now I need an employment permit. So to be honest, I didn't even know that until I did my research for this video. There you are. Second thing is risk assessment. So if they are going to be in a shop or in an office environment, you do have to do a risk assessment. Just because of the children doesn't mean you can put them in harm's way. You have to follow the letter rule. If you had an employee, you'd have to do a risk assessment of how someone's sitting at a desk, for instance, on their laptop. Or if they're in a shop or in a warehouse, you have to do a risk assessment for employees. No different for your children. Employment contract. I did know this one, whereby if you're having a normal employment relationship, Your child is no different. You would have to have an employment contract with them, which also justifies the fact that you are having this person, your child, do some work for you, and you state what is in their contract, what they're entitled to. For a 13-year-old to understand that, bit much, but you have to still do it. Go through the contract, and that's a good education for them anyway, to get them into business. Fourth thing is payroll records and timesheets. So if they're going to do some work for you, make sure you justify it. Make sure that you have a weekly timesheet, whether it's on a written pad that you keep secure somewhere, Excel spreadsheets, or a calendar system of some nature where you can go back to it and justify that to HMRC. And the payroll records is when you've paid them. So if they're going to go through payroll, make sure you use your limited company payroll as an employer and pay them through that. And tax reporting. So RTI, real-time information, is something that you may have to do by paying your child. I would always suggest that you do that because it just makes sure that you've got everything watertight. The final thing that's not on here but probably should be is make sure that you pay into their bank account. That's really important. And the final thing that's not on here is to make sure that you pay your child in their bank accounts, okay? Because if HMRC want to really challenge you, even though you've got all these documentation in place, if all you're doing is just giving them money and you're actually putting it into your bank account, then clearly you're not giving them the money at all. If you're giving them money, make sure that they spend it. Don't just take it off them again. Or, get them to go to the ATM. Right, I've paid you 200. Get the 200 out and give me the cash. I'll give you 50. Let's have a deal. That's not going to work. So don't try those kind of silly things. Be sensible in all the things that you do from a tax perspective. Get it documented. Do it ethically. Do it professionally. And make sure that you tick all the right boxes.